This message is not here to pull you into fantasy or to make you wait for someone. It is not meant to create urgency, hope, or emotional dependency. It is here to ground you in a calm truth. The angels say that when someone keeps thinking about you, it is not because they are stuck or obsessed. It is because something between you was real enough to leave an energetic imprint. Energy remembers what mattered. Thoughts like this do not arrive loudly. They pass through gently, the way light flickers and fades. You do not summon them. They simply appear, a pause in the middle of your day, a soft warmth without explanation, a moment where your attention drifts and then returns. The angels say these moments are not imagined. They are subtle signals of shared energetic memory. You may have experienced this without labeling it. A name crossing your mind without emotion attached. No longing, no anxiety, just a quiet sense of familiarity. The angels confirm that this is not wishful thinking. It is resonance. When two people connect authentically, something remains even after distance or silence. Not a pull, but a trace. This does not mean someone is replaying the past the way you might fear. It does not mean they are stuck or unable to move on. The angels are clear about this. Thinking of you does not mean wanting you back. It means remembering a moment when something inside them felt true. You are associated with meaning, not need. Energetic memory is calm. Obsession is restless. If what you feel carries no pressure, no urgency, no emotional spike, then it is not unhealthy. The angels say the way this awareness lands in you matters more than the fact that it exists. If it feels neutral or gently reassuring, the connection is balanced. You may have wondered why this happens at all. Why you specifically come to mind. The angels answer this directly. They think of you because with you, they recognized a version of themselves that felt honest. Some connections awaken parts of us that are not easily accessed again. Those moments linger, not as longing, but as reference. This is why the thought does not demand action. There is no impulse to reach out, no push to resolve anything. It exists without urgency. The angels say this is a sign of maturity, not avoidance. The bond did not dissolve. It transformed into understanding. If this awareness had been meant to pull you backward, it would feel heavy. It would disrupt your peace. But what you feel is steadiness, a brief acknowledgement, then release. This tells you that the connection has found its proper place. It is not unfinished in a painful way. It is complete in meaning. The angels also want you to hear this clearly. You are not being asked to wait. You are not being asked to respond. You are not being tested. This awareness is not an instruction. It is simply information. Knowing that you mattered does not require you to do anything with that knowledge. Energy does not cling to what was false. Only what was genuine leaves an imprint. This does not elevate the past above the present. It simply confirms that something real existed. And reality leaves traces without demanding continuation. This first part is meant to calm the mind, to remove fear from the idea of being thought about, to help you understand that attention does not always mean attachment. Sometimes it means acknowledgement. And acknowledgement can exist without consequence. You do not need to interpret signs. You do not need to look for messages. You do not need to draw conclusions. Awareness is enough. The angels say that knowing something mattered does not obligate you to return to it. If, as you read this, you felt a quiet recognition rather than excitement, that is intentional. Recognition settles the nervous system. It does not stimulate it. This message is meant to stabilize you, not stir you. You left an imprint because you are present, real, and sincere. And sincere moments are remembered. That is all this means. Nothing more is required. As the angels continue, they guide attention away from speculation and toward felt experience. Because energetic memory is not something you analyze, it is something you recognize. You do not feel it as a thought that demands interpretation. You feel it as a pause that does not interrupt your life. A moment where awareness softens and then returns to what you are doing. You may have noticed this in ordinary situations, standing still for a second longer than usual, losing focus briefly without distraction, feeling a quiet calm with no obvious source. The angels say these moments are how shared memory surfaces when there is no emotional charge attached. They do not arrive with urgency because urgency belongs to desire, not to understanding. Many people expect being thought about to feel intense. They imagine longing, pressure, or emotional waves. The angels correct this expectation. True resonance does not pull. It rests. It does not demand attention. It appears and disappears without leaving disruption behind. That is how you know it is not obsession. If the thought of them thinking about you does not disturb your inner balance, this matters. The angels say balance is the key indicator. Unhealthy bonds create agitation. Healthy energetic memory creates neutrality or gentle warmth. It does not ask you to relive anything. It does not reopen wounds. You might wonder why you notice it at all. The angels explain that awareness does not mean invitation. Awareness simply means you are sensitive enough to feel subtle shifts. Sensitivity does not mean attachment. It means attunement. You are noticing because you are present, not because something is unresolved on your side. This distinction protects you from misinterpretation. Someone thinking about you does not place responsibility on you. It does not make you responsible for their feelings, their healing, or their choices. The angels are clear that this process belongs to them. You are not part of a loop. You are a reference point. Often, when someone revisits a memory of another person, they are actually revisiting themselves. They are remembering how they felt, how they showed up, what was possible in that space. The angels say that when they think of you, they are touching a version of themselves that felt more aligned. That does not mean they need you to access it again. This is why the energy does not move toward action. There is no impulse to reach out, no restlessness, no pull toward resolution. Instead, there is contemplation, internal processing, quiet comparison. The angels emphasize that this is reflective, not relational. If you feel calm when this awareness arises, it means the connection is not asking for continuation. It has already shifted form. It lives now as understanding rather than interaction. That is why it does not disturb your present life. The angels also want to address a common fear. Some worry that being thought about means being stuck in someone else's emotional space. This is not how energetic memory works. Memory does not trap. It passes through. You are not being pulled into their inner world. You are simply aware that a shared moment left a mark. That mark does not weaken you. It does not make you dependent. It does not require response. It simply exists. And the angels say that being able to hold this knowledge without reacting is a sign of emotional maturity. You may notice that when this awareness appears, it fades on its own. You do not need to push it away. You do not need to hold on to it. It completes its movement naturally. This completion is important. It means the bond is not looping. The angels invite you to notice how little energy this takes from you. Your day continues. Your focus returns. Nothing is derailed. This is confirmation that the connection is integrated, not active in a demanding way. If curiosity arises, let it pass without feeding it. Curiosity does not mean something needs to be explored. It only means awareness is present. The angels remind you that not every awareness leads to action. Some awareness exists only to bring clarity. This clarity serves one purpose. It helps you understand that you had an impact without needing validation. You mattered without needing continuation. This understanding strengthens your center rather than pulling you outward. The angels say that when you can acknowledge a connection without needing to define it, you are standing in balance. Balance is the state that keeps emotional resonance from turning into longing or regret. This part of the message is meant to dissolve the need to analyze further. There is nothing hidden that you need to uncover. There is no message behind the message. What exists is already visible in how it feels. Calm means completion. Neutral warmth means meaning without attachment. You are not missing anything by letting this awareness be enough. The angels confirm that recognition does not require response. Knowing does not require movement. Sometimes the most grounded position is simply to acknowledge and remain where you are. If this brings relief rather than excitement, that is exactly the intention. Relief signals that the mind no longer needs to search for explanation. The angels are guiding you away from overthinking and back into presence. You noticed because you are aware. They remember because something mattered. Neither of these facts requires more from you. Awareness, in this case, is the end of the process, not the beginning of another one. As the angels move deeper into this awareness, they clarify what is actually being processed on the other side of the connection. When someone thinks of you, they are not circling around you as a person. They are circling around meaning. The angels say this is the difference between attachment and energetic memory. Attachment pulls outward. Memory turns inward. When they think of you, they are not replaying moments with longing or regret. They are asking themselves quiet questions. Why did that connection feel different? What part of me was present then? What did I recognize about myself in that space? These questions are not about returning to you. They are about understanding themselves. The angels emphasize this point gently but clearly. You are not the focus of their processing. You are the reference point. That distinction matters because it removes pressure from you. It means nothing is being asked of you energetically. There is no expectation, no unfinished task on your side. You may notice that when this awareness arises, it does not come with urgency. There is no impulse to reach out, no tension in your body, no sense of being pulled backward. Instead, there is distance paired with clarity. This tells you the energy is reflective, not relational. Often, people fear that being thought about means someone is stuck. The angels correct this. Reflection is not being stuck. Reflection is integration. It happens after movement, not instead of it. They are not paused because of you. They are learning because of what the connection revealed. This is why the energy feels neutral or softly warm rather than intense. Intensity belongs to unresolved emotion. What you are sensing is understanding forming. Understanding does not cling. It settles. The angels say that some connections act like mirrors rather than anchors. They do not hold you in place. They show you something and then release you. When someone thinks of you in this way, they are remembering what they saw in that mirror. You may also notice that this awareness does not disrupt your current life. It does not interfere with new experiences or new emotions. It coexists quietly. This is important. Anything that demands exclusivity or attention is not what the angels are describing here. They also want you to understand that this process is not reciprocal by necessity. You do not need to be thinking about them for this to be valid. Energetic memory does not require symmetry. It arises where meaning was felt, not where desire remains. If you feel grounded when you sense this, it means your side of the connection is complete. Completion does not mean erasure. It means integration. The memory has a place, and that place is not interfering with your movement forward. The angels explain that this kind of remembrance often happens when someone is aligning more closely with themselves. They look back not to return, but to recognize patterns. You represent a point where something genuine surfaced. That genuineness becomes a marker. This is why the thought does not evolve into action. There is no action required. The learning is internal. The angels say that when learning completes, the memory softens even further. It becomes less frequent, less noticeable, until it simply exists as understanding. You are not meant to hold space for this. You are not meant to respond to it. You are not meant to manage it. Awareness alone is sufficient. Anything more would turn reflection into attachment, and that is not what is occurring. If at any point you notice that your curiosity increases, gently return to your own center. Curiosity is natural, but it does not need to be fed. The angels remind you that not every truth leads somewhere. Some truths simply settle. This stage of the message exists to remove any lingering sense of responsibility. You are not responsible for how someone processes their memories. You are not required to remain emotionally available. Your role ended at being real when the connection existed. The angels affirm that you can honor the connection without living inside it. Honor does not require presence. It requires acknowledgement. You can acknowledge that something mattered and still remain fully in your own life. As this understanding deepens, the energy becomes quieter, less noticeable, less personal. This is not because the connection fades, but because it has been placed correctly. It no longer needs attention. The angels offer this reassurance to close this phase. When a connection transforms into understanding, it no longer asks anything of either person. It simply exists as a point of truth. And truth, once recognized, does not need to repeat itself. What you are sensing now is not an invitation. It is not a sign. It is not a beginning. It is the echo of meaning settling into its final place. And you are free to continue forward without carrying it any further. As the angels bring this message to a close, they shift the focus gently back to you. Because awareness, once received, does not ask for continuation. It asks for placement. The angels say that knowing someone thinks of you does not require action, response, or interpretation. It is not a call. It is not an opening. It is simply confirmation that something meaningful once existed. Energetic memory does not linger to create tension. It settles to create understanding. If this awareness now feels calm rather than charged, that is the sign the angels point to. Calm means the connection has found its proper place. It is no longer active in a way that needs attention. It is complete in a way that allows movement. You may notice that the question itself has softened. There is less curiosity about why they think of you, and less interest in what it might lead to. This softening is important. The angels say that when curiosity dissolves into neutrality, the mind has integrated the truth. Integration is closure without force. Some connections are not meant to continue, but they are meant to confirm something, that you were seen, that you were felt, that you mattered in a real way. The angels emphasize that this confirmation is not meant to inflate the ego or anchor you to the past. It is meant to steady you in the present. You are not being asked to wait. You are not being asked to hold space. You are not being asked to remain available. Awareness does not create obligation. It creates clarity. And clarity returns power to you rather than pulling it away. The angels also remind you of this distinction. Your value is not defined by being remembered, but being remembered quietly affirms that your presence was genuine. This affirmation does not require response. It simply exists as truth. At this stage, the energetic thread softens. It does not break because nothing needs to be severed. It simply relaxes. The connection becomes something you can acknowledge without engaging. That is what healthy resolution feels like. There is no push, no pull, no lingering question. You may feel a sense of inner stillness as this lands. Not emptiness, but steadiness. The angels say this steadiness is the signal that the message has done its work. There is nothing left to uncover, nothing left to decode. Some memories do not fade because they are unresolved. They fade because they are understood. And some do not fade at all because they have already settled into meaning. Meaning does not chase attention. It rests quietly. The angels offer one final reassurance. You are free to continue fully in your own life without carrying this awareness forward. You do not need to revisit it. You do not need to protect it. You do not need to act on it. It will not follow you unless you invite it. Honor does not mean attachment. Acknowledgement does not mean return. You can honor a connection by letting it be what it is and nothing more. The angels say this is the most respectful form of closure. If, at the end of this, you feel grounded rather than stimulated, that is exactly the intention. Grounding signals emotional maturity. It means the message did not hook you. It settled you. You were thought of because you mattered. That is the entire truth. Nothing else is required. No next step. No hidden meaning. Just awareness, placed gently where it belongs. The angels leave you here not with anticipation, but with permission. Permission to move forward without questioning what was real. Permission to trust that meaning does not disappear just because it does not continue. And with that, the message completes itself.